Alright, today we're showing you guys our 632 twin turbo hot rod. It's just an insane package. Totally streetable. The hot rod series, you know, the cam acceleration rates are pretty mild, so you can drive it on the street. Makes way over 2,000 horsepower, and it just has a lot of nice features that we want to show you. Some of the nice features, it's got our NRE 321 stainless headers. It's got our billet 16 injector intake where it has all the fuel regulation, throttle body, all built into the intake itself. Our anteater tusk that mounts the blow-off valves, completely out of billet also. It's got our new water-to-air intercooler, runs water through the intercooler this way, air flows this way. And it's got very little amount of plumbing, so the air just shoots through and back into the intake, so the response is really nice. This thing spools, boom, just like that. Our billet valve covers, obviously our nice 632 engine that we've designed, and our integral fuel regulation in the back is one of the really trick setups. Another nice thing that we've done is it's got this billet specialties drive system, which we've modified the alternator to go from 140 amps to 185 amps, and we've modified the lower pulley to increase the water speed for the larger radiators. It's AC, power steering, high amp alternator, you know, all the good stuff. So just a really incredible package. Alright, so I wanted to show you a close-up of the internal fuel regulation that's built into this intake manifold. So we've made our own fuel regulators. So this is your primary and secondary fuel regulators. And so the fuel comes in, shoots across, so the fuel will enter, go through the fuel rail, enter all the injectors. Once it reaches its excess pressure, it shoots across into the fuel regulator, comes out of the fuel regulator, and comes out of this return right here. So your fuel feed and fuel return for your primary are just these two lines, and there's no other plumbing to do on the motor. Your secondary system is the same way. Fuel comes in, shoots across, goes through the internal rail on the intake manifold, which is machined into the lower plenum, and then shoots down into this return. So two feeds and two returns feed a 2,500 horsepower system, and there's no other plumbing. You adjust your fuel pressure from these, and there's also internal drilled holes that are O-ringed, which boost reference the fuel regulators. So once you reach 1 pound of boost, it increases the fuel pressure 1 pound. So it's all done for you in this setup, which is a really nice way to do it. Another nice thing that we've done for these motors is that we run a screw-in dipstick into the oil pan, and it has a quick release to pull the stick. So the oil dipstick can never be blown out of the motor. On a big turbo motor, that's important. You don't want a dipstick to fly out and oil to go everywhere. So the stick goes in, it's all O-ringed, clip it, can't get it out. It's in there for good. And it's just little features like this throughout the entire motor that make this a great piece. Valve covers have a dash 12 O-ring built into it, so you can run your breathers to a canister. So again, no oil gets inside the engine bay, goes to a canister, and that's another neat, slick way to do it. Another thing that we've been doing recently is that we've been running a 12 and 8 pin Deutsch connector, which are removable. So if you ever want to take the motor out, you just unclip this connector, your entire engine wiring harness is undone. So all the wiring in the motor is handled between these two connections, and that makes for a hell of a sanitary installation, so you don't have wiring everywhere. And also, it's just very easy. You just got 2 clips and the whole motor comes out. That's your entire wiring for the motor. These are the new V-band blow-offs that we use from Tile. They flow an extreme amount of air, so when you let off the throttle, it takes the pressure off the turbochargers. We run twin blow-off valves, and they operate, you know, obviously through engine vacuum. The minute you let your foot off, bang, opens up and really increases the life of the turbocharger. Twin 88 millimeter turbochargers. You know, these are the semi-big boys, and they really move some air when I mean, more power than most people love or need. But we also have a thumper that's even bigger than this, but these are pretty monstrous compared to the 72s. All right. Today we're dynoing our 632 twin turbo hot rod. It's pretty much just a redonkulous motor. So much horsepower and torque, you never use it on the street. It actually is very much a race car power, you know, 2,300 horsepower with ease, over 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. But the beauty is that this motor, in today's day and age, people are building race cars that can be driven on the street, and this motor can be driven on the street. That's the difference. Is the cam timing and the springs aren't crazy, and it's just insane. I mean, it's broke. It's screwed up the servo valves on the dyno twice just because it wraps the thing so heavy. At any rate, take a look. Pretty redonkulous. Look at the torque curve. He's 1,700 all the way across.
That's beautiful.
Crazy. Look at this torquey ass motherfucker. 1,780 fucking foot-pounds, 1,930 horse, 27 pounds of boost. And I'm not revving it too much just because I'm fucking stressing I'm going to break the dyno because of the torque. Alright, so this is us mocking up on one of our 632 twin turbo big blocks in a 69. Really one mean ass package. It certainly fills the whole engine bay up. It is badass.